Hi, this is a really good evening for writing. So we're out writing. And tonight I wanted to talk to you about the meekness of wisdom ordering your conduct. So um, in James chapter 3, verse 13, I'm riding Moses today, bareback, out here in my field with all my other horses. See, they're all right. Let's see. Can you see them? No, you can't see them. They're right there. I got it. There's 3 of them. And then Rain Face is right there. Okay, so I'm riding bareback, as you can tell. Riding bareback, all that. And I was praying about a video to share with you guys about James chapter 3, verse 13. And it says, if there are any wise among you, let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. So, first of all, wise doesn't mean intelligent. Wise means, in the Bible, it doesn't mean intelligent. It means people who do what God says do. If you go through Proverbs, this is how I know this. If you go through Proverbs, you can see wisdom. And wisdom is somebody who always honors what God says and does what God says to do. So that's what a wise person is according to the Bible, okay? So if there's any among you wise, let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. Okay, so I think that the challenge is that when you know a lot, whether it's intellectually or you're wise, and either you use the word wise like the world uses it or you use it like the Bible uses it, I think that you can get haughty and arrogant in that way and be like, I've never done anything wrong, this and that. That would be, biblical wisdom. And worldly wisdom would be, I'm smarter than you. And so I think that both of those mindsets do give rise to the occasion of pride. And pride is the opposite of meekness. And so I got to change hands, sorry. Pride is the opposite of meekness. And so God says in James chapter 3, if any among you is wise, let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. So it's not good enough just to talk about doing good things. Your conduct has to be done in the meekness of wisdom. And so what does that mean? And why am I on a horse recording this? So what that means to me is that when you get wise by the the biblical standard or the world standard, you learn something, you know something. But it's not good enough just to know it. You have to act it out. And how do you prove that to the world that you're wise? You don't go around saying, I'm so wise. If you do, then you're arrogant and prideful. But what you do is you show by good conduct that your works are done in the meekness of wisdom, meaning I've gone through this. I know the result of reacting in an arrogant way in this situation. So I'm going to act in a meek way in this situation. And your meek action in a situation actually shows your wisdom. Okay, so what does this have to do with a horse? Great question. So this is a big horse. He's huge. He's like 17 hands high. You've seen him before. He's a big guy and he's strong. And I'm riding bareback and I don't even have a headstall. Like I have a halter. And this mare right here, right there, that mare, the star on her face, she is, that's the lead mare. And if she decides to leave the country, all of these horses take off, right? So what am I doing? I am putting myself in a pretty dangerous position out here riding by myself bareback with this situation where my horses could just take off and spook this horse and Moses could take off with me. But what I've done is I have gone over to the horses before I started recording. I went over to where the horses are and I loped a bunch of circles. And the reason I did that is because then I went and walked off and it was calm and quiet away from the horses. So what I was doing was I was teaching Moses that if you want to be by your friends, that's okay. It just means a lot of work for you. If you want to be with me by myself and you, then you can be peaceful and it can just be a chill evening, right? And so what I'm trying to do is get ahead of anything that might spook this horse or cause him, he just tripped, he didn't spook. Okay, I'm still here. So what I was trying to do, like I said, is to get ahead of anything that might cause him to booger or run off with me, and to encourage him that hanging out with me, not with his friends, is what he wants to do, right? Because horses are pretty lazy naturally, and Moses is certainly no exception. So what does all this have to do with James 3, verse 13? I am showing by meekness of wisdom. In other words, I could come out here just full of arrogancy because I've been riding my whole life, and I've ridden a bunch of colts, and I've ridden in pretty dangerous situations. And I could just come out here and be like, he'll be all right. I'm going to do what I want and just go do something stupid and get myself killed. But the meekness of wisdom says, no, I'm going to, as much experience as I have, because I have that experience, I'm going to do the smart and the wise thing in this moment with this horse. And it's going to be a good situation, and it's going to be a positive result for me and for the horse. And any onlookers to this situation would say, wow, I thought you were a really good horse trainer. And I would say, well, God has blessed me with the wisdom that I need to be safe around horses, because I don't care how good of a horse trainer you are, they're still dangerous animals. And it's the same thing with life in general. I don't care how much you've lived or how successful you've been. Life is full of pitfalls because we're in a fallen world. And so I encourage you, if you have wisdom enough to start following God, that's the beginning of wisdom, right? The Bible says so. To start following God, if any of you has wisdom, let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. And so wisdom is not arrogant or haughty. Wisdom says, this is a really potentially bad situation, and so I'm not going to be prideful. I am going to be meek and just take authority over this situation so it doesn't go bad, using the wisdom that God has given me. So, beloved, that's what I encourage you to do. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening with my hair's on my face, my big horse. Remember that I love you and that Jesus loves you. God bless you.